Welcome back to another episode of Stud City Unhinged, where I answer your questions that you asked in the comments section below. So before we even begin, if you have any questions that I don't answer in today's video, make sure to drop a comment so I can answer them in next week's video. So let's jump straight on into it. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Krisa from Stud City. We cover everything Lego, mainly Lego sales deals and reviews here on our channel, but I've been starting to answer some very interesting questions for you guys. So let's start with question number uno. Comes from Real Brick Bandit, and he says, what's your opinion on what Pokemon is going to do for Lego, or what Lego is going to do for Pokemon? Will it be the biggest crossover for Lego since Star Wars? And do you think they will do minifig scale sets? Full disclosure, I have no idea what they're going to do, but I have a very interesting topic for this because I think they can go many ways, and I feel like we're all going to be shocked at whatever it is that they produce. Now, I will say an easy answer is to go to buildable characters, right? Which would be awesome, and I probably will be satisfied with some buildable characters from, different Pokemon, right? Like, I feel like we'd get a Pikachu. I feel like that's kind of expected, but personally, I'd much rather see, different Pokemon. I'd rather see a Lugia as one of my favorites, a Charizard. I mean, all of these different Pokemon I think would definitely fulfill a need here, but I really do and would like that. Now, I also don't know if they would do molds. I mean, fingers crossed. My hopes would be we see molds of different Pokemon, right? Like Charmander, all the starters, right? Bulbasaur, Squirtle, even, Gen 4, right? Like Turtwig and Piplup and Chimchar. I mean, all of these Pokemon, like, I mean, it is a dream. Even like Ash Ketchum, Dawn, Misty, Brock, Professor Oak, all of these trainers, I would be super thrilled with getting. But will they make minifigures? Will they make molds? I don't know, right? I don't know that. I mean, fingers crossed. I think that would be a hope. Another really cool set that I mentioned in previous videos, I think that would be absolutely epic, is if they did an awesome wall art set of like Pallet Town with like the characters popping out, right? Like if Pikachu is on Ash's back and you had Misty and I don't know, Psyduck right there, and then Brock and Onyx like popping out of a picture, right? And like maybe a Pokemon Center in the back. I don't know, like something of a very professional wall art. I think that would be really cool and something unique and different, or even a somehow collectible variant of all the original 151 Pokemon. I think that would be awesome as well. Now, there's a lot of hopes and dreams for Lego Pokemon, but regardless of what they do, I'm going to be excited. I don't know if I've answered this in previous years past, but I've been a Pokemon fan since I've literally been a very, as long as I can remember, child. It's something I share on this channel, but I don't share a ton of. I don't resell anything. I literally buy and open and just pure hobbyist enjoy ever since I was a kid. I do have a sealed collection, but trust me, it is never leaving my house. Our next question here is coming from Nick Straight Up Brick. Says, what is it like being in LAN? And a lot more questions to go along with this. You get all that free Lego to build and still have time to go get sales before they happen. I feel like this is supposed to be a derogatory question, but I'd love to see more tricks and hacks about buying multiple copies of a set. My question is, where do you get the time to shop for sets and build all the free sets you receive? I have as equal 24 hours in my life that you have. I just pursue things that I enjoy. Maybe that's not something you pursue. Again, I think the LAN question definitely traces back to definitely an interesting topic in itself. I think being in LAN is not what everyone hypes it up to be. I think it's a lot more different. There's a lot of deadlines. There's a lot of professionality, especially deciding to not counter arguments online, right? It's just like letting things be and being very professional, even though, things are not true that is online, right? Just based on pure opinions and that aren't true, which is very frustrating at times. Also, of course, getting Lego sets early does not entail like everything in life is free. It's not the case. I think maybe 10% of our Lego collection has been given here by the Lego group. Of course, I don't get to pick the Lego sets that I want, so that's a false reality that a lot of people believe. I am fortunate that I do get some Lego sets early, but again, I've definitely put in the work. We put in the hours here to do review videos. We film everything and build everything that Lego has ever sent us. So I feel like there is also a price tag with getting free Lego, because it's really not free, right? We're putting in a lot of time in, reviews and other things in the backgrounds that you probably don't see. And also, where do you get the time to shop for sets and build Lego sets? I literally just build Lego. Like, I don't think there's a cut and dry answer for that. I enjoy shopping. Something I've been passionate about ever since a decade now. I've always enjoyed flipping items. I've mentioned that in previous videos, but I enjoy finding the best deals. That's why we started this YouTube channel. I am a LAN member because I find deals and sales, right? Like, I did not get accepted for my stellar review videos. Stud City, the community, has its community for finding deals and sales on Lego. Unique, and was the only thing that, only person ever doing that to begin with. Now we've seen a lot of copycat channels, which, all power to them, right? Pat on the back for this guy, right? Like, we started that, right? So anyways, we started that. That's why we are a LAN member, and I think we do a great job of doing so. But to answer your question on early, Evan says, curious question, what's the biggest mistake you've ever made as a Lego investor? The one that really stuck with you and changed how you approach things today. We'd love to hear your lesson you pass on to the rest of us. Absolutely. I don't feel like I've made a mistake of, selling off a Lego set too early. I don't think it's ever short-lived to pull gains, right? Like, I don't think anyone ever went broke selling too early and profiting, right? Like, no, I don't think that's the case, right? Like, I don't think that's the case. And I think that could be a very great lesson going forward if you're a Lego investor. I think one of my biggest regrets is not buying more, right? Like, I've always had this knowledge of, having good price tags on things and being able to sell things, whether it was Lego or other things in years past. And I think my biggest regret, of course, and biggest mistake is just not buying more. I really believe in myself. And of course, that's with risk and stuff. I've, never take out a loan or anything like that. So all the capital I've always put up has always been my own, and, probably able to do that, right? I know a lot of other people aren't maybe able to do that, but I've been able to do that. So I would definitely say just buying more, taking a little bit more risk on, and being able to, leverage, the knowledge that's in here in my mind, and being able to, make more profit from there. But, very fortunate for what we've done, and, not to be greedy or anything like that. I think we're very blessed. Our next question here is coming from Scruffy Nerf Herder, and he says, would you look at a bricks and minifigs or go with an unaffiliated storefront? Now, I think to answer that, I would definitely go with the Stud City name here. I don't ever have a desire to open up a bricks and minifigs. No hate to be bricks and minifigs. I just feel like, I don't know, there's positive and negative connotations to the name, between pricing, between business, between, store locations. And I really wouldn't want my name associated with that personally. Now, I think I'd rather kind of go into a Stud City store if I were going to do that. However, I did mention there is going to be a bricks and minifigs in my area now. So I don't know if a store is going to be the direction we will go, at least not here in the short term, as it is something I really do want to do in the future. I don't know if now is the best time, now that that demand here in my local area is kind of being fulfilled. And our last question here is coming from Clutch Hit Bricks, and he says, can you walk us through what it was like bringing all that Lego back from your Asia trip? How did it go with customs? And to be honest with you, I didn't buy a ton of Lego, right? I mean, so I went to Asia with a backpack, right? And a carry-on. And then I ended up buying one suitcase and filling a suitcase and sending it back. So I feel like I was definitely one of the ones that didn't suffer from the most, as far as tariffs and taxes. But you could fill out all of that documentation upon buying the stuff, if I'm not mistaken there, and then you could turn it in at the airport. So I did a lot of that when I turned in to the airport, if I'm not mistaken. And other than that, everything was pretty smooth. And, for being one of the most craziest areas like China, we have this like negative kind of area, like as a, maybe a US citizen here, like, oh, China, right? Like, it's scary. That's, the government, they're watching you, yada, yada. I feel like the process was no different than what I've done and experienced at other countries, like coming back from Europe. Now, I will say one of the biggest shipments we sent back definitely had, a lot of import taxes, right? Definitely given this time of the year, obviously bad time to buy it, but obviously declaring the values, you pay whatever the percentage was, and it was pretty straightforward. But yeah, between everyone that I went to with in Asia, we definitely did buy collectively a ton amount of Lego. Now, fortunately for me, a lot of the stuff was personal collection stuff, and I think that went for a lot of us. But anyways, that's going to wrap up today's AMA. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. There were some really great questions here, and hopefully I answered them the best to my ability. If I didn't answer your question, drop it in the comments below, and I'll be sure to try and answer them next Wednesday in our next week's video. As always, subscribe if you haven't already, smash that like button if you haven't, and we will see you in the next one.